Have you ever reached a point where it feels like everything in your life is falling apart at the same time? Not just one thing, your work, your relationships, the spaces, communities you belonged to, even the way you think. And you keep asking yourself, what is wrong with me? What if I told you this phase often shows up right before the real growth, not after failure? Most people think identity collapse is internal. They think I am confused, I have lost motivation, something is wrong with me. Why can't I adjust just like others? But what actually shocks people isn't what's happening inside them. It's that everything outside starts collapsing at the same time. Businesses stop making sense. Partnerships feel heavy. Communities that once felt aligned now feel loud or draining. Friendships feel distant or performative. Even family dynamics start triggering something deeper. So the question becomes, why is everything falling apart at once? What's misunderstood in this is collapse doesn't begin because something is broken. It begins because something has already changed. Last year, I walked away from things I had built for years: businesses, partnerships, communities. Not because they failed, but because something inside me had changed. And for a long time, I thought I was the problem. What I didn't realize then was this wasn't a breakdown, it was identity collapse before the growth. Let us understand what's actually happening psychologically and in the nervous system. When growth is real, not aspirational, not intellectual, it first shows up as loss of tolerance. Your nervous system no longer consents to certain conversations, certain compromises, certain speeds, certain emotional environments. What once felt normal now feels misaligned, now feels irritating, exhausting, or even unsafe. That doesn't mean that the old environments became toxic overnight. It means your internal regulation changed. Psychologically, your identity model no longer predicts reality accurately the way it used to before. Old roles stop giving emotional rewards. Effort output ratios feel off. Neurologically, the body exits familiarity before the mind has language. And that is why you feel uncomfortable in your body, but you cannot reason it that why it's happening, what is it happening. You cannot name it. Motivation drops because motivation belonged to that old identity. The system enters conservation mode, not laziness. And exactly this is why clarity can exist without energy. You know you did the right thing, but your body hasn't caught up yet. And that gap between cognitive clarity and somatic adaptation is where most people panic. Now, let us see how this shows up in the real life. In work and business, you leave ventures you built from scratch. You walk away from things others still admire. Not because they failed, but because you no longer fit inside them. And that's deeply disorienting because success didn't protect you from the collapse. In leadership, you stop wanting to manage people the way you once did. Group energy overwhelms you. Visibility feels heavy, even though you want it. You want to work on it. but it feels heavy before it feels clean enough or clean again. So leaders feel stuck not only because they lack discipline, but because the old leadership identity has expired. In relationships and communities, you leave spaces you helped build, not dramatically, but quietly. And that quiet leaving carries grief, guilt, and fear of, will I always keep leaving? Is growth just constant separation? Will I ever belong again? Am I the problem? What's the issue with me? Why I cannot adjust just like others doing? In the body, there's a long pause, months where creativity is offline, energy is inconsistent. You show up less, not because you don't care or you don't want to, but because your system is still reorganizing. And this is the part people don't talk about. They skip from collapse straight to comeback. But the middle matters. Here's the reframe that changes everything. This isn't a breakdown, it's reorganization at a system level. You didn't lose motivation. Motivation was attached to an identity that no longer exists. You didn't lose discipline. Discipline just isn't meant to drag you into misalignment. You didn't fail at belonging. Your nervous system stopped negotiating its own truth. So instead of asking, why am I leaving everything or everyone or every place, a more honest inquiry is, what inside me no longer agrees to stay where I used to survive, not thrive? Growth at this level demands fewer environments, not more. Slower rebuilding, not instant momentum. Permission to be unproductive, which is fine, and without feeling unworthy. And yes, sometimes growth requires leaving people, spaces, and identities repeatedly. Not because you are incapable of commitment, but because commitment to truth comes before comfort. Commitment to alignment comes before misalignment. Commitment to growth comes before the spaces of that you have outgrown. As I end this video, I would like to leave you with two questions so that you can reflect on it. Ask yourself, what in my life is collapsing? Not because it's wrong, but because I have outgrown the version of me that created it. Ask yourself, if I stop judging this pause as a failure, what might my system be trying to reorganize right now? No instructions, no urgency, just permission. Just give yourself permission. Sit with it. Because sometimes before growth, everything falls apart on purpose. This is Tanuka Bhattacharjee, and I'm committed to making the world a better place. Stay tuned, and if you have not subscribed this channel yet, make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button because I bring many more such topics that we talk about and that we do not pause enough to reflect, and that really holds keys to our growth to become the highest version of ourselves.